Hello and welcome to Exploring London, the series where we occasionally explore bits of London. And today I'm on the hunt for the story of Execution Dock. Now you probably immediately have some kind of inclination as to what might have happened there, but what exactly is it? And where is it? Why is it? Is it? Is it? So today we're talking about piracy, by which I mean the theft of a ship and its cargo, and not how your cousin torrents pixelated camcorder footage of the latest Marvel film on his iPad. For as long as boats have existed, pirates have existed, and the British have always taken it very seriously. Piracy has, since records began, always been punishable by the death penalty. But piracy was still a scourge on the global interests of the kingdom. We were in the habit of sailing places and taking control of them, taking their things, their people. Let's not go into that. But pirates got in the way of that system. How better to deter people and show how seriously we as a country take the problem than at the entrance to the largest shipping centre in the world, we hang the people that would steal from our ships. And that was Execution Dock. But not here. This is the Tesco Express. The condemned would start their final day in Southwark, and as if that wasn't bad enough, in a prison in Southwark called Marshalsea. Now, all that's left of Marshalsea is this boundary wall. It almost wasn't worth coming. But Marshalsea was a pretty bad place. It was full of squalor and violence, and it was also quite poorly built. There's a legend that one of the pirate prisoners burst through his prison cell wall through sheer brute force alone. Must have been a pretty irate pirate. It doesn't rhyme. The pirates would be led out the gates of Marshalsea and paraded through the streets on the back of a cart. Eventually they would come here and cross at London Bridge. Leading this procession would be the Marshal of the High Court of the Admiralty. Now he was carrying a silver oar, which was supposed to represent the Admiralty's authority to carry out such an event. But it also follows a long British tradition of slightly silly things representing really important things, like the ceremonial mace in the House of Commons, which represents the Queen's authority to rule, or people like the Vice-Chamberlain who have wands of office. Wands of office. And the procession would end up here in Wapping, which at the time would have been Sailor Central, filled with docks and warehouses and inns for sailors. The Turk's Head pub gave a quart of ale to the condemned prior to their deaths. Nowadays you can have a pint of ale here to numb the drudgery of your unsatisfactory life. But it's not exactly clear where the prisoners went after that. We don't actually know precisely where Execution Dock was. The Prospect of Whitby is a pub which has capitalised on the potential marketability of the forced termination of human life by installing this cute little fake noose outside. But you know, fair enough, this is one of the potential sites of Execution Dock. They also claim to be the oldest riverside tavern, supposedly, dating back to 1520. Supposedly. They would say that, wouldn't they? Another potential location is the Captain Kidd pub. Now, William Kidd is a great story, but one I don't really have time to tell. In a nutshell, he was sent to attack pirates and then was probably unjustly accused of being a pirate before he just gave up and became a pirate anyway. Tales of his buried treasure inspired hundreds of stories, including Treasure Island, but his story ended somewhere around here when he was hanged for his crimes. Unfortunately, on the first attempt, the rope snapped and he fell and he didn't die, so he had to be hanged a second time. Lucky man. Mapping superstar of the 18th century John Roke mapped Execution Dock stairs as being somewhere around here, so this was very potentially where the thing was. But the consensus amongst those who actually study history instead of those who just talk about it on YouTube pins it here at Wapping Old Stairs, just down from the town of Ramsgate pub. This is probably where Execution Dock once was, but in terms of what it would have looked like, it would have been just beyond the low tide mark, a very simple wooden structure, and it was there because that was where the authority of the Admiralty began, inside the waterways of Britain. There are stories that executioners deliberately used a shorter rope for pirates. This would mean that their necks wouldn't break, and instead they would slowly suffocate to death, their twitching, writhing movements being nicknamed the Marshal's Dance. The executions were usually held on a Saturday, and these were the days before Strictly Come Dancing. What else had a Londoner to do but watch the latest pirate hanging? People would crowd along the shore or in boats on the Thames to watch the event, and when it was done, the body would just be left there for 3 tides to wash over them before they would be taken up and gibbeted. Gibbeted, which meant being tarred and hoisted up in an iron cage and displayed further along the Thames as a great warning to sailors passing by. This carried on until the final hangings in the 1830s, at which point various legal reforms as well as changing societal values put an end to public executions like this. But in the United Kingdom, the death penalty was still attached to piracy until 1998. The change in that was probably spurred on, I'd imagine, by the release of the seminal hit Viva Forever by the Spice Girls. Nowadays, everything's long washed away and there's no evidence that anything was ever here. Particularly when the tide comes rushing in and you have to frantically panic run up the stairs. Eek! Whoever thought that Execution Dock might be a dangerous place? If you enjoyed this video, then please like it, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. You can also now, if you want, buy me a coffee. The link is in the description below. It wouldn't be a coffee though. I actually don't like coffee. Something more like a hot chocolate, for example. Except I'm cutting down. Maybe a tea. Buy me a tea. An English breakfast tea. Yeah.